All right.
And I'll just go into here and see if we can find ourselves.
Okay.
Right. It says that we're live now. There we are. And I'll just tag everyone so they can find us. And everyone. There we go. We're on.
Awesome.
All right. And here's Eleanor. Hi, Eleanor. Thanks for coming to watch. Hi, everyone. For anyone who might be joining us live, hi, Kaz. Good to see you. And we'll just give it a moment to see if anyone else is going to join us today. But here today, I'm bringing you interviewing another friend of mine who is Lindsey, and Lindsey is a gut health coach. She's a mother of two, and she's the creator of the Be Well Reset program. And she helps women to balance their hormones, improve their health, and balance gut dysbiosis naturally using a plant-based diet and also nervous system regulation. So a little bit like what I do with helping people to lose weight, she's doing it with people to help them heal their bodies. So we're going to have a chat to her today. I can see Margaret's here, Jamie's here, Lisa, Susie, Sarah. Good to have you guys watching. If you've got any questions for Lindsey as we have a chat, please feel free to drop them in the comments. So Lindsey's going to tell us about her story, what brought her to doing what she's doing today. And yeah, Lindsey, hi. Why don't you take us back to when you were struggling with your health and tell us what was going on for you and yeah, how that's sort of taken you on a journey, let's just say.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks so much for the warm welcome, Karen. And thank you for having me on today. I am on my phone, so if I miss any comments, maybe you can make sure that we don't miss them.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah. So my journey is pretty long. I'm 35 years old and I started taking antibiotics at 1 year old. So as a very young person, I had a lot of issues. Like I had recurrent tonsillitis as a young one. Tubes in my ears, and then an eventual tonsillectomy. And I can barely remember any of that. But now that I kind of understand the gut, I've looked back all the way and just seen like, wow, this started when I was a baby, basically, probably in my mother's womb. So basically, I had all these issues, and then I kind of went through like middle school and everything, and I didn't really I noticed some anxiety as soon as I turned 13. And that's kind of when I started to go like try to research and find out what was wrong with me. I had facial blushing really badly. I had a lot of social anxiety. And I just didn't know why. And unfortunately, Google didn't really exist back then. So I would look around the internet trying to find things, but the things that I found were basically like taking the capillaries out of my face so that I didn't turn red. And I was just willing to do anything at that point because I was embarrassed and I didn't know why this was happening and why my body was acting this way. And so I kind of went through high school and like I was fairly normal still. Like I didn't really notice anything, but I also ate very poorly. I ate chicken fingers, fries, pizza, donaires. I didn't know how to cook for myself or like make a healthy meal. I would not touch fruit unless it was covered in sugar. Like
wow.
so bad. Yeah. Me and my husband were talking about that yesterday. I'm like, I only ate strawberries if they were dipped in like yogurt and brown sugar, like just a really poor diet. And yeah, and it's funny because me and Karen were just talking before this, but I'll just add this in that as a kid, I also really didn't like meat. I was disgusted by it. I didn't like dairy either. But then because it was in my household and I grew up eating it, like everyone ate it around me, I slowly just like felt myself getting pulled towards it. But it was the unhealthy stuff because it's like more highly palatable and it's more consistent than like eating, a slab of meat or something.
And it looks less like an animal, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah,
right?
when it's breaded and yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and then anyways, I got into university and that's kind of when everything like started to become even more serious because I was in a new environment and my anxiety was still really like it was getting worse. I was getting more uncomfortable. I wasn't able to like raise my hand to say anything. I was really flaring up very often too, and just so nervous, so uncomfortable. Um, and so I got into my mom's car one day after university and I just like had a meltdown and was like, I don't know, something's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me. And I ended up going to my doctor, which I was also afraid of because I had like white coat
Mhm.
fear. So I went to her and she said, yeah, you have anxiety. So you should get on, some antidepressants and we'll start there. And so I was just desperate for anything, and I had no idea what else I could do. I didn't know what my other options were. She didn't give me any other options, so I took it. So I started taking Zoloft for about 5 years. I took it for a long time. And I was just like sailing through life. Like I was okay. I wasn't great. Like I didn't feel amazing or anything. I used a lot of alcohol to cope because Zoloft kind of numbs your feelings, your emotions and stuff. So now that I look back, like I used alcohol to be more fun, and then I used some marijuana to laugh at things because nothing was funny and just I was very numbed out.
Wow.
Um, and yeah, so it's hard to make this story short because it's like kind of going
That's
through
all
the
right.
whole
Like
timeline.
all the things.
Okay.
It's really interesting because, we're going to have to understand like how our experiences in life and how the things that, I guess the health things in our that have affected us and how it affects our mental health as well.
Mhm.
And how that leads us, because I always say that the struggles that we've had in our life are leading us somewhere. It's not um, it's not that it's just a problem that's meant to hold us back. It's a problem for us to resolve, and then we do what we do, like you and me, right? We're supposed to come and
Exactly.
help other people resolve that thing as well. So yeah, don't apologize for the story being
Okay.
keep going. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. And yeah, so then in my 20s, like I just was, going out every weekend, and then I didn't really notice that I was struggling or that anything was really wrong, just kept eating poorly. And then some more things started to come up. I started to get really severe acid reflux and like so bad that I like vomited on myself in my car, like horrible acid reflux. Like every time I ate, I could like feel everything going all the way down my throat. And I was like, this is so weird. Like, what is this? And I went to my doctor, got a test done, and it came back negative. And I'm sure so many people can relate to that. You know something's wrong, and you go get a test, and it's negative. Like it was really confusing for me as a younger person too. So I got some more anti or medicine for that. I can't remember what it was. Um, and then I went traveling, and I kind of stopped taking everything because I felt a little bit better. And that was kind of the beginning of my actual healing journey. I was kind of like learning more about anxiety, listening to podcasts and trying to find out like why is this happening to me? Why do I have this? And nothing really clicked until I got home. And one thing that stuck with me was swap your coffee for chamomile tea. And I'm like, oh, I have like 5 coffees a day. Like, could that be part of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like I have alcohol often, and I don't eat regular meals, and I love sugar. Those were a few of my huge things, and like all like chocolate, and I would binge too. Like if there was anything in the house, I would eat it until it was gone, and then I'd feel bad about it, and just like repeat that cycle. Um, but anyways, I got home and my boyfriend and I took a little break when I was on that trip, and then we got back together, and then I started to get chronic pain. My shoulders were like super sore all the time, my neck, my whole head, my jaw, and my temples. And like my doctor was like, maybe you have TMJ. And like I just had all these random diagnoses coming up that I was like, is it this? Is it this? So
Okay.
the TMJ, so temporal mandibular joint disorder, I think. So like your jaw just like causes a lot of pain, and it could be due to like a misaligned mandible, I think.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Was
so
it
I
that or
had
was it
that like
something
I
else?
yeah, so it was like it wasn't that. I think I did go for testing, and I'm not sure if it was, I think it was negative, but
Mm.
still I had this like all the time, all these flare-ups, and now I had anxiety, acid reflux, and then the chronic pain, and I still wasn't listening to my body at all. Had
Yeah.
no idea, just like why do I have all these problems? Like why do I feel so broken? And my boyfriend was like, Kay, you're acting like a 7-year-old lady. Like, we're missing events. We're not able to go out with our friends. Like, you're massaging yourself constantly. Like, my doctor actually ended up prescribing me with arthritis Tylenol
Oh my
to
goodness.
take whenever I had flare ups. And I'm like, so every day I'm going to pop Tylenol.
Oh, wow.
So I started with that, and then I went back and she was like, okay, let's do some injections in the shoulders. So I did that, and like I don't know what happened, but just I knew that this wasn't right. Like the pain went away, but I didn't feel any better in my body just having that pain gone. Like I still felt off, and I was like, I need to try something different. And so I ended up going to a naturopath for the very first time. And people have lots of opinions about naturopaths, especially where I live. A lot of people were like, they don't do anything. They're not helpful. Like, what's that going to do? And I just believed. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to believe because I need something different. Um, and I went to see her, and we spent an hour talking about diet. And I was like, oh my gosh, a light bulb went off in my head. And I was like, this is what I need to be working on. Like she's talking to me about my diet. No one's ever said a word to me about diet. I've been doing like I was 28 at this time, like just still trying to heal myself.
Yeah.
And she thought that I probably had candida overgrowth. So that's just a bacteria in your gut that overgrows and it makes you kind of more susceptible to like craving sugar and bad foods, and then it kind of overgrows. Like we want candida, but not overgrown candida because it can cause pain and other symptoms, rashes and things like that too. Um, so I went home and I wasn't even convinced that I was going to do this diet because I thought it was impossible for me. Going from eating what I was eating, like Donaire's pizza, all my favorite foods, to eating like really healthy, like vegetables. And I was still eating meat, so some meat and stuff.
Yeah.
And my boyfriend was like, we are doing that diet. Like, we are doing it because I am so done with this. And I was like, I was really grateful that he would do it with me because otherwise I did not have the willpower.
Yeah, that's good. All right,
So we started doing it.
sorry, I was going to say it's so important,
Okay.
isn't it? Like having the support of people around you to help you do that as well, because your environment is
Mhm.
one of the biggest impacts or influences on our behavior. So yeah.
Exactly. It's so true. Yeah, I'm grateful because I know a lot of guys would be like, I like the food that I like, and you try that. And it
Yeah.
makes it a lot harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you made the change to the diet, and then what started to happen?
So literally within weeks, I didn't feel anxious anymore for the first time in my life. Like I wasn't afraid to go and have an interview. Like that was one of the fears I had. I needed to take Ativan to do interviews and things like that.
Yeah.
I didn't feel scared anymore. My pain went away.
Mhm.
It went away within a few weeks, and I did have like headaches. They were gone too. So basically, everything resolved itself from doing the Candida diet for a couple of weeks.
Wow, that's amazing.
Hmm.
Yeah, it just goes to show how much our diet impacts the health of our body, pain in our body, yeah, the inflammation. And I just saw Karen has commented here. She said, this is so interesting and a lot like my story with food. So yeah,
Wow.
Karen. Yeah. And,
Awesome.
I have to say, like, I think I had other symptoms and things going on in my body before I made the
Mhm.
changes to my diet as well. And, I didn't even realize how bad I felt until I no longer
Mhm.
felt all of those symptoms. I knew that there was a
Yeah.
lot going on in terms of my digestion, and I was like, not in a comfortable space every day. Like I would have lunch at
Mhm.
my desk and, probably all the things you teach your clients not to do. Like I wasn't taking a break. I was throwing it down,
Mhm.
eating fast. I was,
Exactly.
but I wasn't eating whole foods, and I was stressed beyond belief, and that was causing me terrible, terrible gut complaints. And so, yeah,
Mhm.
just even just making a few changes to my diet, and then, getting rid of the stress, really
Mhm.
significantly helped me as well. Yeah. So
Yeah.
changes to the diet, and was there anything else that you did that has helped, your healing since then?
Yes, actually, I kind of missed an entire part. Like
Yeah.
before I went to the naturopath, the other thing that happened was I came back from my trip, my 6 month trip, and I said to myself, Kay, you are so out of shape. Like I went to a Pilates class and I was embarrassed. And that was in Australia. I was super embarrassed. I'm like, you are weak, you're not even old. Like you used to be an athlete. What's going on here? So I came home and I promised myself that I was going to start going to yoga. And I did that. And actually, that is where my mind and my body started to reconnect, and I could feel it happening.
Mm.
Instead of being all in my head with anxiety and stuff, I was more able to just like be present and be okay with that. And that actually, I think, helped me to regulate my nervous system, first of all, so that I could look at the food that I was eating and go, huh, that may not be, the best thing for me, and
Yeah.
was able to start making those changes. And then, of course, I dove into it like fully because that's kind of something that I do.
Mhm.
And I became a yoga teacher as well. So I think all of those hours that I spent just with myself was so, so beneficial for my healing and just changed everything about me, I think.
Yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it? And I find that a lot of the times our poor health conditions are, it's almost like a symptom of something where we're disconnected from our body.
Mhm.
And a lot of people that I've coached, at least, have, been a lot up in their heads, and
Yes.
have been disconnected to their body as well. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think that mind body connection is super, super important, especially to I guess figure out our own stuff. I think we have way
Mhm.
more wisdom than excuse me. Excuse me. We have way more wisdom than we give ourselves credit for in terms of understanding our body and probably what
Mhm.
it is that we need to heal. And a lot of the time, I think a lot of people just need to calm down, quieten down,
Yeah,
take some time and some,
absolutely.
yeah. So so you've made these changes, you've started to heal your body. What's next?
Yeah, so started to do that, and then so after we did about the 6 week diet, I was like, we should go plant-based. And my partner was like, okay, sure. Like I'm down to try it. And I like he was actually overweight too before doing Candida. Like he's lost like I think 30 to 40 pounds since we started that process and kept it off for 7 years without really doing anything dramatic besides changing diet.
Wow.
Um yeah, he was like pre-diabetic and stuff as well. So
So has he fully
yeah.
embraced that now?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, his blood work and everything up to today is amazing now.
perfect. Oh, that's amazing. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what made you take the next step and go fully plant-based?
I think that when we did that diet and ate like, so many veggies that we weren't familiar with, and like the meat was really just not something we were excited about. We just had it there because we needed protein for the Candida diet, basically. But then I felt like it was more authentically me. Like I never liked seafood growing up. Like my whole family would cook live lobsters and I'd be crying. I'm like, I didn't like any of it. So it just felt like I was coming into my authentic self.
Yeah.
And so that seemed like the last part, even though everyone was kind of like, oh, you're going to do that. And like I felt judgment and I felt people being like, interesting. Can she do that? But I just kept putting it out into the world like, I'm going plant-based. We're going to be plant-based. Like we're vegan. And eventually it just fully clicked for us. And we have like a whole bunch of recipe books and we love it. And yeah, we're the only people we know in this, like here, like in our friend group that has done it, but we love it and we feel amazing.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, and talk to us about what sort of, I guess, I don't know, resistance or judgment you did get from your peer groups. Did they say anything? How were you treated as you made that change?
I think for my husband, it was worse because he worked in trades, and so other guys would say things all the time. Like I wish that we wrote it all down because I would just be like, that doesn't like he's eating Chef Boyardee out of a can and telling you that, you're eating something that's whole foods and that's weird, right? Like it was just the disconnect was crazy.
Hmm.
And like our parents, well, mostly like Jay's parents, my husband's parents, like they didn't understand. They still don't understand the connection between like your health and what you eat. They still do not understand that. And they lost a son to cancer too. And that's part of why Jay is so passionate as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Um,
It's
yeah, and then
you know,
my
um, so many people come out of the woodwork and want to tell you about nutrition when you change your diet to something that's
that's true.
healthier. And yeah, I think even to this day, I'll have with all the certifications and like work that I've done in the health space, I'll still have people coming to tell me that sugar causes diabetes and that
Mhm.
eating meat doesn't cause cancer and stuff like that. So they'll
Mhm.
argue with me on certain things
Yeah,
that we know to be true now. So yeah, the general population doesn't, as I keep referring to the way Chuck Carroll on the exam room says it. I think the general population's health IQ is not quite as high. So yeah,
yeah.
you just got to learn to appreciate that other people like they care or they feel judged themselves, or they might be judging themselves. And their
Yeah,
comments, like, we don't have to actually listen to their comments. We don't have to take them seriously. We just need to stay on our own journey and do what we know is right for us. how,
exactly.
how long ago was it that you went vegan now?
So that was about 2019. So
Okay.
it's been about 6 years, and I've had two pregnancies fully plant-based and breastfeeding journeys, and everything has been really good.
Yeah. And your health, I mean, you don't look like you are suffering in any way at the moment now. So I'm imagining
No.
that yeah, you look like you're thriving. And so
Oh, thanks.
talk to us about, talk to us about the actual things that, as you've gone back and learned more about the healing of the body. Tell us,
Mhm.
what it was that you were doing and how that was actually healing your body, so that people can sort of
Okay.
put it all together. Yes, you made this change, but what was it that was actually making your body heal?
Yeah, so I think that first of all, like regulating your nervous system, so getting out of that stress, fight or flight, which I was in, I think, for my entire young life. So getting out of that and giving yourself that time and space is reducing the stress in your body, which is, I'm not really good with the science of it, but it just makes you feel better, right? Like you get dopamine from exercise. It helps to balance your serotonin levels, right? And when you have anxiety, your serotonin levels are low. So it kind of helps to regulate that. It also regulates your hormones too. So any kind of exercise is just so, so beneficial. And if you feel like diet is overwhelming and you don't know if you can start there, starting with exercise is a great way to kind of get more dopamine and be able to maybe make a change. Because I think before I started exercise, I wouldn't be able to do that. Just sitting on the couch watching TV every day, eating the food and stuff, I wouldn't be able to just be like, okay, I'm going to make a huge change today. But
Mm.
when you move your body, you like move through emotions and stuff too, right? And release like negative energy and like anger and stuff. So I think that when you do that, you're able to kind of make space for something new.
Yeah. And is movement part of your own coaching protocol as well?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's same. It's so important, and even in weight loss, so many people are trying to use exercise as a way to burn more fuel, burn more calories, and it just
Yeah.
doesn't work that way. It's more that we are increasing our energy output, so we get to eat a bit more food, not starve
Yeah.
ourselves. And it
Yes.
also, like, it moves stress out of the body, so we're less prone to emotional eating. We are, increasing the serotonin and the dopamine, so that we feel happier and feel better about what we're doing, feel better in our lives. So we're suppressing
Exactly.
emotions so much less. So yeah, it's so
Hmm.
important. And I think I think I saw something on I think it was the Rich Roll podcast. I just saw a reel
Hmm.
pop up just recently on Instagram saying,
Oh.
I think exercise is, the number one thing that we need for our health. And
Hmm.
diet's obviously very, very important, but exercise is certainly up there as well. So yeah,
Yes.
okay. So regulating your nervous system, taking some space, that brings
Hmm.
down the stress levels, getting some exercise, which helps to bring down the stress levels as well. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then what else? What was it within the diet that was actually healing your body?
So with the diet, I think that I was missing out on entire food groups. Like I was not eating vegetables and fruits in their whole form. There's a lot of foods that I introduced into my diet when I went more plant-based that I did not have in my diet. So spices, which are full of antioxidants and healing properties. Um, and then also within vegetables, we have prebiotics and probiotics. And so prebiotics are food for the probiotics in your gut. And so if you're not eating any of those, the probiotics just kind of slowly die off because they don't have anything to eat off of and to multiply.
Yeah, yeah.
So I wasn't eating anything like that. And then also just, yeah, having more fiber and getting rid of refined sugar and processed foods because the nice thing was when we started going plant-based, there was a lot less options for like vegan treats and that kind of thing. And so we just ate whole food. And so I think that's the best thing to do for energy and for digestion. And yeah, fiber is great for motility and, it's like the bulk of your bowel movement. So without it, you're not going to be regular, which is so important as well.
Yeah, yeah. I, I'm thinking about the carnivore crowd at the moment, how and how they think that going to the bathroom once a week is kind of like a good thing because
So concerning.
oh, isn't it right? You can just
Yes.
you can feel what their insides are going to be like. Yeah, so I bet you're going to have a few carnivore turned people.
Right? Yeah, I'm still waiting
With
for like
you.
them to,
Yeah,
yeah, for them to
yeah.
figure that out.
Yeah, I always say the body doesn't lie, right? The body is going to tell
Yes.
them. So yeah, but yeah, like fiber and whole foods so important for a healthy gut environment and to keep us
Mhm.
regular and a healthy gut environment, as we know, then creates a healthy brain, healthy immune system, healthy organs, healthy heart, healthy gut.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It's all related.
it is, right?
Mhm.
And just thinking back to when you were, going to see doctors, you knew something was wrong, and they're all looking at each individual little symptom to
Exactly.
advocate for that. It's like putting a plaster on a gaping wound, I say, um,
Mhm.
and really getting to the root cause of what is going on within your body is so important. So
Mhm.
yeah, so you obviously made that change, what, 6, 7 years ago, and
Mhm.
now you are doing what you're doing. So what made you decide
Yeah.
to then, start to become a coach and help other people?
So I think I'm a social worker actually. And so I spent 10 years in the city that I live in working with like homeless, people with addictions, girls that were at risk of like being uh, trafficked, things like that. So I saw so much struggle, and I also took a lot of clients to the doctor. They would get different medication constantly for mental health concerns, and nothing was getting better, nothing was changing. And then I would take them to go and get an ice cap and from Tim Hortons and a bagel. And so that all started to click for me, and I'm just so passionate about helping people. That's why I became a social worker. But then I saw that being in that system and trying to help people, you don't really get to see like these massive positive changes because the positive change comes from food and lifestyle, which we weren't able to kind of change for them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so and just my own journey and just doing it myself, I'm like, wow, like I struggled for so long and no one helped me really.
Mm,
And so that felt really lonely. And so if I could help anyone else with like anxiety or pain to know that changing their diet and changing their lifestyle could literally change everything, because I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. This was a huge fear of mine. So,
wow. Yeah, and I was thinking about that before when you said that you could barely put up your hand, in class, and I'm like, well, here you are now, like a coach talking to people all around the world probably. And I've seen some of your stories and things like that, and you're great.
mhm.
Like your social
Oh,
media is
thanks.
great. I'm like, I need to spend more time doing reels and things like that as well. I just find myself so busy. But yeah, I've just been looking at your stuff and it's great. And that you can't do that sort of stuff when you feel anxious, when you
No.
have a fear of being seen. So yeah, it really is life changing. And how long have you been coaching now?
So it's been like a 2-year journey where I started right when I had my first baby. So it has been a lot to get everything going.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's been, yeah, rewarding and challenging. And I
Thank
know I'm doing the right thing because it makes me so happy. So,
Yeah, right. And like I say, the struggles that we've had and the things that we've been able to resolve ourselves, I think that's why we're here. We're here to pass on that wisdom and that knowledge. And especially when the medical system seems to be letting us down so much. Yes, they're amazing at certain things, but there's a lot that the standard, I guess, practice of care doesn't know, diet
mhm.
and lifestyle factors, being some
Exactly.
of them. So yeah, it needs people need a different option, I guess, to be able to
Mhm.
turn to. So that's amazing.
For sure.
Yeah. So tell us about what you do with your clients. What sort of process you take them through, taking them from where to where. Tell us about that.
So, yeah, depending on where they are at, they first have to believe that it's possible and believe that a lifestyle change could actually do something for them. I don't want to have to convince anyone
Yeah.
that that's possible, right? So once they know that that's possible, we kind of start with just looking at I want them to be more aware of what they're eating and how that's affecting them, first of all.
Yeah.
So we do like lots of journaling around, what are you eating throughout the day and like where the gaps are, how big their meals are, and then of course, like if it's a balanced meal that has like protein, complex carbohydrates, and fats in it. So we just start looking at that. We don't even make any huge changes with that off the start because it needs to be sustainable and gradual. And then we also look at like activity levels basically and start to incorporate some movement, whatever kind they feel excited about. And we just try to create like some consistency. And then yeah, my program, I kind of just educate about like gut health and the gut brain connection and just how important that is and ways that you can do that, like using like the vagus nerve and nervous system regulation and yeah, different things that can kind of help with that, getting outside and making sure you're spending time with the right people. Yeah, and then I kind of go into more of like how to create a plant-based pantry and fridge that's like sustainable and works for you. Um,
Beautiful.
yeah, yeah. And then just more about like mental health and how mental health connects to the gut. And yeah, just more like scientific stuff around that.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's really important for people to understand as well. I've literally just been having a conversation with a girl who's new to the group, so if she's watching, hi. um, but she was talking about how she's just not hungry at the moment, and I said, "What else is going on in your life?" And she said she's really stressed about a wedding that's coming up that she's trying to organize, and I said, "Yeah, well, stress actually turns off the digestive system because your body thinks that you're in danger and you need to save your life." And digestion
Mhm.
is not important at that point in time. So
Mhm.
yeah, understanding, how your mental health affects your gut health, but also how your gut health affects your mental health, like in constant communication.
Yes,
Is not isolated bits that work separately. They all work together to communicate
exactly.
how to work. So yeah, I think it's really important that people understand that part as well.
Yeah, definitely. And then just kind of more of like how to eat differently than people in your life and like how to get around that. Like what do you say or how can you, go and eat out and still enjoy it but maybe not eat something that you aren't happy that you're eating or that you won't enjoy.
Yeah, I think that's really
Yeah.
important too, because yeah, changing our diet and being different to other people can be such a trigger that for some people who feel really uncomfortable about being different. So, having the skills to be able to learn how to be different and be okay with being different and not worry what
Yeah.
anybody else thinks or says about you.
Mhm.
It's something to really lean into, because I know that for a while I stopped, I resisted changing my own diet because I was worried about what people were going to say.
Totally.
Yeah. Amazing. So I'm just going to scan the comments here to see if anyone else has asked. Yeah, Karen's very glad that she dropped in to watch this.
Well,
Awesome.
awesome.
Yes,
Thanks for being here.
beautiful. Susie says, I've been doing plant-based for 3 weeks and can really feel the difference in her pain. So that's awesome,
Nice.
Susie. Yeah. Yeah, if anyone else has got some stories or some feedback, then yeah, please drop it in. It's great to have so many people watching. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, so where can people find you? Where's the best place to connect with you?
I would say probably Facebook or TikTok is
Yep.
where you can find me.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if my handle is on here anywhere or if I should drop it.
Why don't you drop your handle to me? Um,
Okay.
and I will pop it into the comments. I'll come back in here and pop it into the comments when we're done. You're actually in my group, aren't you? I'm just going
Yeah.
to make sure you are in my group. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll tag you there as well, so that people, if they are experiencing some gut problems, some pain problems, and need some help or want to come follow you, then they can do that as well. Beautiful. And I'll put your
Awesome.
handle in, and I'll put your details also into the YouTube replay as well, so people can connect with you. And
Okay, great.
do you have like a free guide or anything like that as well that we can give away to
I
people?
do. Yeah. Yeah. I have a free gut reset guide that I could share with you.
Beautiful. Yeah, do that and
Yeah.
drop that into the group as well. Here we go. Kaz has said my indigestion went away when I went back to whole food plant-based eating. Yes.
Yes. Awesome.
Kaz also worked with me for a month doing a particular whole food plant-based program, and yeah, a lot of pain disappeared in her body as well. So thanks for
Hmm.
that, Kaz. Yeah. So amazing. So, yeah, incredible story there. And it just goes to show that, our bodies can heal, that when we give them the right environment And the right food is part of that right environment. The right, I guess, emotional state, or calm emotional state, is part of the right environment, as well as, setting up our external environment to support us as well, and making sure that we do have supportive people on the journey with us. Having a supportive partner is
Yeah.
incredibly, it's not always possible for some people, but
Mhm.
it's super beneficial when you do have that support as well. It makes it so much easier. um yeah, beautiful. Thanks for sharing that story with us. And do you have sort of like these last words of wisdom that you want to leave everyone with?
Yeah, I think like just listen to your body. It's always speaking to you, and symptoms are communication. They're not a problem that where your body's fighting against you.
Yes, I love that too. I'm actually studying medical intuition at the
Oh,
moment.
nice.
We are actually diving even deeper into symptoms and the messages that our body is trying to teach us, or tell us.
Fascinating.
Attention, yes, absolutely. The body, symptoms, pain, anything like that is just communication from the body. It's trying to get your attention. Without the pain,
Mhm.
without the symptom, then you wouldn't know that there was something wrong. So we need to listen to that and deal with the root cause of the symptom, not just keep playing with, like trying to suppress those symptoms with medications. Beautiful.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I don't think there's any more comments here. Just scan through. Thanks everyone for joining us today. I hope you got a lot out of that. And please feel free to reach out to Lindsey if you want some help with pain or gut problems. So thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Karen.
Bye.
Bye.